Our region's business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in you.
Oh, for the good old days when choosing a beer didn't require much thought at all. There was an Iron City, maybe a Bud or a Miller, and if you wanted to be really daring, there was always Coors, if you could get it. Well, today beer lovers are awash in options, and many of them being brewed right here in our region. And local brewers are celebrating with the upcoming Craft Beer Week. Lee Schmidt is chair of the Pittsburgh Craft Beer Alliance. Brian Meyer is treasurer of the Alliance. And Scott Smith is owner of East End Brewing. Welcome. Good to have you all here.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
How about kind of a coming of age for the craft beer industry in our region that you guys have an alliance these days, right?
Right. Other cities have started them, as well as there's National Brewers Association. So a few years ago when we were kicking around the idea of Beer Week, we also said, while we're doing this, let's start an alliance and association with the forethought that we can do things for the local breweries, help bring in some funding and do some stuff.
How many different breweries are there here in our region right now?
Right now in the Allegheny County and surrounding counties.
So there's sort of the Pittsburgh Metro.
Greater Pittsburgh Metro. Yeah, there are 21.
21.
Approximately. And then there are 11 or 12 that are pending. So they're in the process of licensing and opening and finding a space.
Well, that's amazing. So Brian, what happens during Craft Beer Week?
A lot of things. There's a giant range of events, everything from the large beer festivals where hundreds of people show up and get to sample a variety of beers, down to individual bars having samplings of local beers and beer and food pairings, and even beer dinners where there's a 3 or 4 course meal with specific beers paired with each one. So it's anything that you can do with beer, we have going on. So
how many events are going on over the course of the week?
So we'll have over 200 events all over the city. As Brian said, there'll be everything from keg ride, and there's a breakfast and beer pairing.
So whatever your taste is,
there's
an opportunity. Scott, you've been at it, what, 10 years now for East End Brewing?
Yeah, this is our 10th year of operation. And the city and the love for beer has changed so much in that period of time. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, you were probably not the first pioneer of craft beer in our region, but you were definitely got in early based on what's been happening recently.
Yeah, I've actually found it strange to be referred to as the old guard. I don't feel old enough to be the old. 10 years is old in craft beer circles. But yeah, we weren't first in the pool, but there's been quite a bit of growth in that period of time, for sure.
Yeah, and this is not just a regional phenomenon. This appears to be happening all across the country, this surge in craft beer. What do you think's driving it all?
I think it's just the people want something different. They want local, they want to know things. There's a local push and a get to know your food, as well as your drink. If you go to a local brewery here, you can go to East End and meet Scott and talk to him about where his ingredients come from and how he does it and what his process is. And it's something different to have. When you go to a bar, there's such a huge selection of beer now available. And now in the U.S., there's over 2,500 craft breweries.
2,500, wow.
Yeah, so.
That's amazing. Right, yeah, you really made a specialty out of trying to explain all of this, right?
Yes. I like to talk to people about beer, do beer samplings, and actually run a website, Craft Beer Academy, where I try and help people learn what it is that makes craft beer, what it means to brew your own beer, and even what the guys like Scott do. Sit down and talk to them, because it's, like Lee said, it's more about understanding where your beer comes from than just picking something off a menu.
Pretty wild. Scott, tell me a little bit about what we have here today. You brought some unusually big jugs of beer here. So what is this all about?
Yeah, this is our kind of our industry's standard unit of measure for at-home beer. It's the growler. So this is probably what we're the most known for at East End Brewing. So people can come out to our place and get a half gallon of fresh beer filled right while you wait in our tasting room. But what we have here in terms of the beers in some of these growlers, these are some of the collaboration beers that some of the brewers in the area have worked on. That's one of the great parts of the job, is to go and work with another brewer, another person that has passion for beer and passion for this business. See how their process works, see how their equipment is, and then they come to your house and do the same, and you end up with two collaborative batches of beer, and all the local breweries are going to be bringing these collaboration beers to bear on the locals here.
Unusual flavors that people might not have seen before as a result of the collaboration?
Yeah, the one that we have here is called Rojo Ahumado. And the translation is red smoke. It's a smoked beer brewed with some chilies. And really nice flavor profile, a great beer to go with food. This is the one we did at East End Brewing with the guys from Lavery Brewing up in Erie. So they came down to our place to brew.
Very cool. This it all sounds like a lot of fun. If people want to get involved, find out, I would assume you've got a web presence or something so they can find all these activities?
Yeah, it's PittsburghCraftBeerWeek.com. We're also on Twitter, Facebook. But the website obviously has all the events will be listed. There's a calendar there.
All right, PittsburghCraftBeerWeek.com. People can look it up. Coming up the end of the week. Great. Right. Thanks a lot. Lee Schmidt, Brian Meyer from the Craft Beer Alliance, Scott Smith from East End Brewing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll be back in a minute with a little dollars and cents. Stay with us.